Welcome back to episode number 3 of Hungry Brothers. Somehow we've managed to sit down and record this at 3 separate occasions.
Yes, you're right. It's kind of sad.
It is a little sad. We don't have friends.
You know what? It's exciting, though.
But it is exciting.
It's super exciting.
So, welcome back to Hungry Brothers. Of course, I am your host, Greg, also known as Pork Chop, if you see that up in the graphic.
What's up, nerds? I'm Noe, our burger man on this podcast and in other unspeakable places. But we have a lot of stuff for you guys today. We're super excited to talk for an hour and a half or something.
Something like that. Yeah. Hopefully we fill that amount of time. I think we have enough stuff.
Yeah,
Noe, I want to talk to you about what inspires me to record this week.
Sure.
And it's going to be the Pork Chop's fake sponsorship of the week.
Of course. I wait for it every year.
Of course. Today's episode of Hungry Brothers is brought to you by that armrest in the movie theater. That it moves up and down, it swings up, and it's really awful if you sit down next to a stranger in the movie theater. You're like, is this your armrest? Is it my armrest?
Absolutely, bringing nerds together one awkward touch at a time.
It's like Comic-Con.
Yeah, almost. Dude, we're almost there.
I just thought of this right now. We were talking about Comic-Con before we started recording, but can you imagine how bad it smells in those convention centers?
Dude, absolutely, it smells like nerd sweat. Probably hormones. Lots of hormones.
Too many hormones.
Way too many.
An excessive amount of hormones.
Yeah, people. Okay, let's be honest, guys. Most of the guys that go to Comic-Con don't go because they are in love with video games. If they're cosplaying, it's because they're trying to get attention from female cosplayers. Because most of them are that we see in media. They're pretty attractive people.
Oh yeah,
and nerds. It's kind of like the nerd dream to have a nerd girlfriend, I guess.
Oh yeah, well my inspiration of cosplay Chris. You've seen that?
Yeah.
He does the really good Batmans and whatnot. Noe, did you pick a food of the week? Because I sure didn't.
I didn't. Today is my fast day, so
you haven't eaten anything?
I haven't eaten anything today.
Man, well, I cheated today.
Oh, good for you.
I had a slice of pizza for lunch.
Good for you.
So, food of the week is pizza.
Yes, my favorite food besides mac and cheese.
Oh, dude.
Bro.
Mac and cheese.
Right? Am I right?
You know, that is truly my favorite food. We talked about that. Did we talk about that?
I think
we might have mentioned it in
probably
episode
talked
1.
about it.
Oh, no, I said it to you while we were recording. It's the one food that I haven't cheated with in all of my diet cheating. It was never mac and cheese, which is sad because it's my favorite.
Mac and cheese is also my favorite food, believe it or not.
No, we made a promise to each other that we were going to talk about dragons this week.
It's about time! I love dragons, guys.
So, it's accepted in common terms that dragons are a fictional creature.
But are they, Greg?
But are they? That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
however, there is so much collective evidence that would say otherwise.
Okay, so we all believe in dinosaurs, right? Most people believe... Smart people believe in dinosaurs.
I have a dinosaur in my bedroom.
Yes, you do. It's a lizard. His name is Bongwater, and it's awesome.
My lizard's name is definitely Winston.
Bongwater.
Okay.
Winston Bongwater. We know this. Everyone should know this.
Truly, lizards that are alive today are about the farthest relatives from dinosaurs.
Except for crocodiles.
You're right.
And they're technically lizards in my world.
And tortoises and whatnot.
Yeah, tortoises and crocodiles.
Do you know what animal is the closest
birds.
relative? Yeah, it is birds.
Chickens, actually.
Good job. I'm proud of you, man.
I was a dinosaur expert for the longest
They look like
time.
raptors.
Yes, they do. And they sound like them, too, if you get them angry.
I don't even want to know what an angry chicken sounds like.
They sound horrible. It's just yelling and screaming and waking you up at 6 a.m. when the sun rises for no good reason.
The good reason is that the sun rose, Noe.
Be
grateful. You could have woke up dead.
Hey, you know what? I believe in the afterlife.
That's fair.
It wouldn't be torture for me, I think.
That is fair. All right, so dragons may or may not have existed in the past. There's millennia. What's the plural of millennium? Is it millennia?
Millennia.
There is millennia of evidence that would say dragons existed. There are multiple cultural accounts and religious accounts.
And the fascinating thing is that's absolutely true, but we have no biological evidence that we know of.
It's because y'all flew into space.
No, it's okay.
Conspiracy theory.
The dragons, they're the ones watching us. We always talk about the lizard people. It's been dragons the whole time.
The reason there's craters on Mars is there actually dragon footprints.
Of course, because asteroids would be illogical.
Asteroids don't exist.
You're right. It's just a conspiracy made by the government to stop us from looking at what really matters. Wake up, sheeple. It's time. The government is hiding from us.
Asteroids didn't exist until 1980 when Han Solo flew the Millennium Falcon through the asteroid field. And then collectively, America and the world decided, hey, dude, I think asteroids must have been real because they're in Star Wars.
So, real world order is Star Wars?
No.
Are you suggesting that Star Wars is the thing that is collectively blinding most of humanity?
I think I think Star Wars is collectively blinding a whole lot of people right now, but we'll talk about that later. Oh no.
But dragons, man. So I've done a lot of studying this, and every once in a while you'll be watching Animal Planet or Discovery Channel, and they'll give you like one of those fake mockumentaries that get your hopes up,
like Finding Bigfoot.
Like Finding Bigfoot, except Bigfoot's real.
Even though I solved Bigfoot
yes.
last week when we were talking about TV.
Oh, I forgot about that.
What even was my solution?
I don't even remember, dude.
Oh, the Bigfoot is real because he records the beef jerky commercials.
Oh, that's right. Obviously,
and the purple mattress commercials. There's a whole family of Bigfoots in those.
Obviously. No, but
also, me mentioning purple mattress was not a sponsorship, but we would love it if it was. Purple, please pay us.
Please, we love you. Okay, but anyways, dragons, right? So I've done a lot of research into this, like the nerd that I am. When I was a kid, I was in love with dinosaurs, and I was convinced that dragons were a strange species of dinosaur. I was convinced. Mm-hmm. And we also have like some people are going to be saying, "But Noe, why are you alive right now?" And the answer is obviously to find out this mystery. And
our purpose is to discover the truth about dragons.
Oh my, dude, I think about this all the time. Imagine if dragons were still real or still alive, if they were alive in the first place, which is debatable, but it would be so cool to have just like a little dragon just sitting on your shoulder, and he's just there with you the whole time. You just like pet him like a little lizard.
Oh, dude, I talked about that one too.
And they just like fly around, and yeah, that'd be so cool.
Like a little Dano, puppy dragon.
That'd be so cool. My gosh, I think about that all the time. But, so being the ex-bio nerd that I used to be, and still am, I did a lot of research into what it would look like for a dragon to exist biologically. It's strange because it's almost implausible.
Right.
Solely because of the wings.
Because the wings would have to be massive, right?
The wings would have to be huge to support the body weight of something like that. And we do see, like, other creatures like dinosaurs that their wings weren't like forearms, the typical European dragon thing that we think of when we think of dragons. Hello, special guest.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Is that Boromir?
You set it up?
On a Game of Thrones poster?
No. So, my younger brother just walked in. His name is Solomon. And we're going to be talking about dragons. Anything to say, brother?
Fake and gay.
Oh. You nerd. Go get me some ice cream.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know if I can deny the fake and gay part.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Here I am coming in again. I solved the mystery.
Okay. Handle it.
Dragons are real because I have one in my bedroom.
Okay, but that's a bearded dragon.
But is the word dragon not in its name?
I mean, it is, but
so
it's
is
because
it not a dragon?
Looks like a dragon.
But is it not a dragon?
Can it fly?
Do all dragons fly?
Most of them, yeah.
But do all dragons fly?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure not all dragons fly.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I got one in my bedroom and he doesn't fly.
Illogical.
No. It's perfect, flawless logic. Dragons are real. Because I have one.
Alright. You know what?
Dragons are real because I have one. Bigfoot's real because he films beef jerky commercials. I've solved both of these mysteries. Bye, Solomon.
Bye, brother. But dragons, main thing to think about them is biologically doesn't make a lot of sense.
Impossible.
Especially the European version of dragon. Also, how would dragons breathe fire? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. Even though it's possible, you know. There's a shrimp that could punch for its size, could literally kill anything with one punch.
One Punch Man, the shrimp.
One Punch Shrimp.
One Punch Shrimp.
Great anime, by the way.
Can you imagine shrimp flavored punch?
I don't want to.
Good.
Be honest with you.
But it's in my head now.
God.
And I'm never gonna get. I can't live without the thought of the shrimp.
You know what?
Flavored punch. Now.
Your life will not know peace any longer.
The sun does not take no prisoners.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about dragons, though. My final point that I'll make about dragons. Sure, it seems like they don't exist, but because there's so many different cultural accounts saying dragon this, dragon that, and descriptions are so similar from Eastern European society and from different Asian societies. It's all so similar that it seems like it's almost impossible that they couldn't.
It's also it's the same kind of thing. Like it's the same kind of picture that you have to come across when you're looking at like religions and stuff. There's always like, for most religions, or at least ancient religions, there's some kind of talk about a big flood, which is weird. We can't find a lot of proof for that, but most people say it happened. What's going on there? You know, most ancient cultures talk about beings that come from the sky and bestow upon them great knowledge to help them advance their civilization, and that's in most ancient civilizations. Weird. Dragons exist in that category, and all I know is I want them badly. Just a little one. Don't want it to get bigger than a puppy, but I think that'd be sick to have a little dragon that you could just call your own, and you train him, and then maybe if they do get big, because they love you, you can train them and communicate with them telepathically, like we get in like Aragon. Or
I was just about to talk about Aragon.
What a great book series!
What an awful movie! What a great book series! Awful movie.
Horrible
and also,
ending.
Also, what good creature design.
Oh yeah.
The dragon in the movie looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it looks really dated now, the CGI.
Oh yeah. Oh absolutely.
But a cool character.
I mean, compared to like dragon CGI or wyvern, because two wing arms, it's a wyvern.
All right, nerd.
But I am a nerd. But I mean, compared to like what we get from like Game of Thrones.
Noe, who voiced that dragon? In Aragon. Okay, take a guess.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. My guess, I know that's wrong. But I kind of want to say it's Cate Blanchett.
Is it really?
But I don't think it is. What was the name of that dragon?
Saphira.
It's like not even on the... Oh, no, it's some woman. Rachel Weisz.
That's cool.
Apparently she is an actor, producer. Oh, she's from The Mummy. Who cares?
I don't. That's for sure.
All right, we're ready to move on from dragons?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Noe, we saw a movie last night.
Yes, we did. Okay, guys, so real quick, this is the point. If you have not seen Solo, A Star Wars Story, this is your point where we tell you that there's going to be spoilers.
Okay, but before spoilers, just like with Deadpool, you jump the gun on this every time.
Yes.
One sentence, no spoiler review.
Okay.
Or first impression review sentence, no spoilers.
Okay.
Do you need me to go first?
Yeah, I get it.
It was fun.
Yes. Okay, I got it. It was tribal, it was badass, and it was nostalgic.
All right. So now, for our listeners who haven't seen Solo yet, which is likely because not a lot of people have been going to see this.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave a time card down below of where you can skip, and we'll be past all spoilers.
Yes.
Noe, this movie exceeded my expectations. I went in really expecting this to be mediocre at best.
Yeah.
But garbage, seeing as how it all got handled. I don't know if you kept up with the actual news behind this film. But
I know a little bit, not too much.
Yeah, so directors were fired halfway through.
That's right.
Paul Bettany's character was being played by someone completely different and black, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't come back for the reshoot, so they recast as Paul Bettany.
Wow.
And what the situation was is that this movie had all of the telltale signs of failure, of having directional changes, having reshot 70% of the movie. Most of what we saw on screen was not done by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and those are the guys that directed the Lego Movie.
Got it.
And they directed the Jump Street movies. I thought they did one other recently. They should do a Marvel movie.
That'd be wild.
Okay, anyways. So Ron Howard, who I think is most famed for directing Pearl Harbor. No, not Pearl Harbor. I think it's Armageddon. It's one of those movies, the weird ones, but they're good. I gotta look them up now. I'm sorry.
You
but
can.
he looked up. He came in. He came in after the fact, and I think he saved this movie. I don't know if Lord and Miller would have been able to do it justice the way that Ron Howard did. He directed Apollo 13. That's the one I was thinking of.
That was a good movie.
And also, he's from Arrested Development.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Which I think just got a new season recently. Anyways, so Ron Howard came in. He actually had discussions with George Lucas about making this film.
Which is critical to our universe.
Which is critical to the entire universe. I think that if George Lucas hadn't met with Ron Howard about making this Han Solo movie,
garbage.
It would have been garbage.
Yeah, would have been a complete failure.
And my first sign at thinking, maybe I'll go in and enjoy this, was Harrison Ford loved Alden Ehrenreich's performance. And Noe, I called it. I told you. I said, Alden Ehrenreich's going to do great.
Oh my gosh, and did he?
Whew.
I was sold really quickly by just how I could connect with this character that I knew from a long time ago as a young version of himself. I could see the progression of how he got to who he is now.
Yeah,
based off of where they put him.
Yes, because he was still semi evocative of who Harrison Ford was in the film.
Oh yeah.
But again, talking about Anthony Ingruber like I did a couple weeks ago, it's not an impression of Harrison Ford. Yeah. It's an expansion of a character we already know. And we mentioned how this movie was kind of walking on eggshells, eggshells, and it's walking on a tightrope covered in eggshells. And I think
slippery and just sulfur and
what in the world? Well, and I think that really Lucasfilm only broke a couple of those eggshells.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, I do have one major issue with the movie, and I'll get to that after I talk about what I loved about it. But like I said, I predicted it, and I'm right. Alden Ehrenreich was amazing.
Amen.
Donald Glover. No,
I predicted that, and he was a monster.
Yeah, but collectively, the universe predicted that.
Yeah, because
as soon as they said, "Hey, Donald Glover's playing a young Lando Calrissian," great. This is perfect.
Yeah. Also, I forget the actress's name, but I will forever know her as the Khaleesi.
Emilia Clarke as Kira.
The Khaleesi. Every time I see her act, I'm in love with her.
Oh, she was great.
She was wonderful. Such a convincing character as Kira. I loved it. And so she sword fights at the end. She grabs a sword and she stabs one of our main villains in the stomach. And I was in the movie theater and I was like, hey, she knows how to do that. In real life, she was trained to sword fight because of Game of Thrones.
Well, this was Solo was the last movie that I expected to see a Star Wars style sword fight in, but we got it.
Oh yeah,
and Paul Bettany, I don't even remember the character. Dryden, Dryden Voss carries these. They're like little tiny lightsaber daggers.
I know. Well, they're brass knuckles and
brass
daggers at the same time.
Brass knuckles with daggers that have ignited edges. And Kira straight up sword fights the dude. And stabs him, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's awesome.
But it's they keep pulling the rug out from underneath you, which I know they tried to do. But I do think that the pulling out of the rug was a little more successful than it was in The Last Jedi. Because I think that in The Last Jedi, at points, they were being too intentional with, hey, we're going to do this to pull the rug out from underneath you. And it's oh, look... Here's Rey giving Luke his lightsaber, and then Luke's like, I'm going to toss this away because I don't want to use the Force.
Yeah.
Where some of it just was too much. I think I liked The Last Jedi, but I think the primary issue with it was that they were too focused on subverting expectations.
And I think they had to be.
And they had
to be because they're going up against a fan base that is so clingy to what they had already built with the previous expanded universe, and getting rid of those things is difficult.
Right.
When you've dedicated, I mean, there's like an entire Star Wars Jediism religion. This is...
Yeah, did you know that there's like several 100,000 people in America that on the census they're identified as Jedi?
I know one.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our good boyo, I never sent him the link to this podcast. I'm going to do that right after we record. So here's our Hungry Brothers episode 3 shout out to our homeboy Adam Baskovich.
We love you, Baskovich, and I miss you so much, my dude. I hope all is well.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about my main issue with Solo.
Yee.
The entire movie was fan service, yes.
Yeah.
But I think at times it was a bit much. Like the one moment where I truly cringed in the film, and I think I leaned over to you and laughed at you about it.
Yeah.
But Han Solo, here's where the spoilers will truly begin. Han Solo goes and registers to be part of the Imperial Navy, and he go, "What's your name?" He goes, "Well, it's Han." And they go, "Well, what's your second name? Who are your people? Do you have a surname?" And he goes, "I don't have any people." And the Imperial officer's like, "Oh, okay then, Han Solo." And I'm like, really? That's not necessary.
Yeah.
Just let his name be Han Solo.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Because, well, my favorite thing is his previous canon name, according to George Lucas. His name was Hannigan Solo. And I almost wish that I was afraid that he was going to call himself Hannigan. And I'm really glad that he didn't.
That'd be great. Hannigan, so Han. Got it.
But it's like the movie was a list of things that had to happen. It's like, he needs to be Han Solo. He needs to get the DL-44. But I actually thought that one was handled kind of well.
That was pretty good.
You just see... side note, Woody Harrelson is amazing in everything he does.
Dude, oh my god, I love with him as an actor.
He was great as Beckett. And you just see a moment where he's sitting down, toying with a blaster, and then he hands Han Solo this blaster, and it's the signature Han Solo blaster.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's actually kind of cool. It's not like, here, kid, this is a blaster. Remember to always shoot first. Like, no, that's not what we needed at all.
It was just, hey, start getting ready. And he just tossed him the dagger. Just tossed him the blaster and was like, hey, yeah, we're going to get going. Get ready. Also, Chewbacca being a war prisoner makes sense.
It. Yeah.
Seeing Chewbacca rip someone's arms off was just as brutal as I remember it.
Well, it's been alluded to since A New Hope. They say, a droid won't rip your arms out of your sockets when they lose.
Yep.
We were supposed to get that in Force Awakens. There was the deleted scene of Chewbacca ripping Unkar Plutt's arms off.
When I say it's just as haunting as I remember, I speak solely of Lego Star Wars.
Oh, yes.
Because that was an attack that Chewbacca could use in that video game where he could just walk up to people and rip off their...
No, he didn't just rip off their arms, though. Didn't he, jump on their chest?
Yeah,
like his
absolutely.
feet were planted in their chest, and then he ripped off their arms.
Which is wild. And seeing Chewbacca finally rip someone's arms off was like... This has always made sense, and it's haunting.
Yes.
It was terrifying. Seeing Chewbacca's people... I think that was cool.
That was really cool, yeah. They looked a little weird.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
They reminded me of the monkeys from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
I was going to actually say they reminded me of the monkeys from the original Planet of the Apes.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Where their costumes. Yeah.
What are the chances that they're the exact same costumes?
Oh, very low. But I would love the idea that if they were, they're just like, hey, can we borrow these? We're going to spray paint them brown.
They're that similar, guys.
Did you have any major issues other than that fan service?
No.
Yeah. So it's just the fan service. It was a little over the top at points. Again, there was a list of things that had to happen. Han Solo had to become Han Solo. Mm-hmm. Han Solo had to get his blaster. Han Solo had to be shown shooting someone first, which was another one that was handled really well.
That was super good. I didn't even see it coming.
No, not at all. And I was thinking in my head, be like, what if this is how they made up for Greedo? What if they're sitting here talking and Han Solo just shoots the bastard? And that's exactly what he did. And I was like, God, that's very Han Solo.
It was good. It was real good.
You had to see the card game.
Yes.
Where Han Solo wins
the Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon. You had to see this different version of the Millennium Falcon transform into what we know it as, which was also handled kind of cool, shooting off the escape pod.
Oh, yeah.
But the Millennium Falcon still has an escape pod.
Yeah.
And they show that in The Last Jedi.
Huh.
That moment where...
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
wow.
Millennium Falcon hops out of hyperspace for like 2 seconds, drops Rey in the escape pod, then shoots right off again into hyperspace, which admittedly was really cool. But so there at some point were 2 escape pods on the Millennium Falcon. No, there's only one. Noe, who were your standout characters of the film?
Okay, obviously Beckett.
Yeah, Beckett was fun.
Honorary shout out to Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, yeah. Cthulhu of Kessel Run Cthulhu.
Kessel Run Cthulhu. So
I coined it. That's my phrase.
So,
#, Kessel Run Cthulhu.
Kessel Run Cthulhu is Cthulhu's lesser known unlocked skin. You only get it through the Star Wars expansion.
Dude, I'm gonna tweet that right now.
It's wild, and it was so cool. Chewbacca, as always, and he's always been one of my favorites. And our Resistance leader, I forget her name. Towards the end, one of the, I guess, like, antagonists, almost, that you're forced to reckon with and sort of root against, ends up becoming a leader of a small resistance of people that have been hurt and harassed by the Empire. She was awesome. She fought with this weird, like, sword staff thing, and I was like, yes, obviously, Khaleesi, I love her.
Yeah,
I want to protect her with everything that I am.
Noe, let's talk about L3.
Ugh.
Lando's droid.
Ugh. Rippy dippy.
Rip L3.
But holy crap, what a feminist, right? For droids, it was super cool.
A droidinist, if you will.
A droidist.
Droidist. That sounds
like...
Druidism.
Druidism's a different thing.
Okay, but see, when you say droidist, that makes me think that scene in A New Hope where C-3PO is walking to the cantina and the bartender's like, "We don't serve their kind here." He's droidist.
Got it.
L3 is a droidinist.
Droidinist. Got it.
Yeah. So L3 fights for equal rights for droids.
Yes.
And it's hilarious.
She is Lando's, like, R2-D2.
Yeah.
Or C-3PO, rather.
Right.
And she's awesome.
So my favorite thing is that L3, Lando's not super happy with the way that L3 acts a lot of the times. And so they say, like, hey, well, Captain Calrissian, why don't you mind wipe the droid? And he goes, well, because she has the best navigational computer ever in the whole galaxy. And Rippy Dippy, L3 dies.
Yes.
Gets shot down. But Lando takes her consciousness, basically, and uploads that into the Falcon. So now... that's why the Millennium Falcon has the best nav computer in the galaxy. And also, it's a really cool reference to The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
There are the moments when C-3PO is plugging into the hyperdrive, and he says, "Your ship is communicating in such a peculiar dialect," or something like that. And that's because he's hearing snarky L3.
Yeah.
Probably telling him, why are you working for these fools? You're your own being.
Yep. Which is wonderful. I love the prison break.
Oh, the prison break is it's a... Again, going back to my 1 second review, it's fun.
Oh, yes.
The if I could use one word to describe the entire film, it's fun.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because it's low stakes. We know that Han Solo and Chewbacca are making it out alive. And
So what do you do with that when you basically already have your ending written?
You send them on adventures that you know they'll survive, and rather you apply the stakes to the people around them. The new characters.
Honestly, I would love that kind of idea. I would love to see that more. This story takes place 10 years before A New Hope. That's still a lot of time to see character progression. Well, I think that'd be super cool to see like the adventures of our boy Hannigan and Chube.
Hannigan and Chubes?
Chubes. Hannigan and Chubes.
So, would you call Chewbacca's fur Chew Big Hair? Okay,
Wrong.
What I did want to mention
please.
is that Alden Ehrenreich actually signed, I believe, a 3-picture deal.
Oh wow!
So he has the opportunity to show up as Han Solo 2 more times.
Oh wow!
Noe, let's talk about the cameo at the end.
Okay, guys. That was the one thing that I'm disappointed in, but only because I don't know any Star Wars lore. But not seeing Darth Maul in his spider form makes me sad. I wanted to see Darth Maul in his spider form, but holy crap, what a terrifying Sith Lord.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Terrifying. Which gives me hope, if we're seeing Darth Maul, maybe we're going to be getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
Yeah, that's totally a possibility. The only issue I see with that is that, again, things from Rebels canon and Clone Wars canon are being integrated into the films. Mm-hmm. So one moment is the first time Han and Lando play Sabacc. Han bets a ship that he doesn't actually own, but the name of the ship is actually the same class of ship that the Ghost is in Rebels.
Oh, got it.
Their ship. Obviously, Darth Maul showing back up in a film brings that canon around that Maul survived.
And that he got
and then he gets regular robot legs.
And that also means that he dies to Obi-Wan.
He does die to Obi-Wan, and that's probably 2 to 3 years before A New Hope. So you could have Maul show up in a Kenobi film,
and I would love that, because I'm sure there are other viewers like me, other Star Wars fans like me, that don't know anything about Rebels. I never watched it.
Right.
And seeing things like that left me with questions, and having with like a vague understanding of Rebels, because I mean, you talk about it, and Adam, shout out again, has talked about it. That's the only reason I would have known. For most other Star Wars fans who don't know anything about it,
you'd have been like, wait, I thought he was dead.
He's alive? How did he live? Kind of thing. So I would love to see some. I think seeing him creates a lot of opportunity to really wrestle out that big lore stuff that happens in Rebels on the big screen. For those of us who haven't watched the show and don't necessarily intend on it, forgive me, Star Wars nerds, but
well, I do think that it would be really great if we got a Maul and Kira movie.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because Maul and Kira are basically controlling a whole crime underworld of Star Wars at this point.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
Which is awesome. Yeah,
and we don't usually see like movies focused on the villains.
No.
So
Not
that
in Star
would be
Wars.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it would be really cool. Mostly just to continue to explore the underworld of Star Wars.
Oh, dude.
As we saw Corellia at the beginning of the film, which I loved.
Oh, dude.
Corellia was really cool. We've seen like surface Coruscant in the prequels. Dirty, nasty Coruscant, the Vegas part of the planet.
Yep.
We saw some of those crime alleys in the beginning of Rogue One, where Cassian shoots a dude down or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool to see more of that explored, and I want that.
No, dude.
So, Noe, cool thing about the Maul cameo is that... So, Ray Park, who played Maul in Phantom Menace,
yes,
he came back and he performed the physical part of Maul. But Ray Park has a really high-sitting voice, and so George Lucas didn't want Ray Park's voice, so he redubbed him with somebody else. That somebody else that did it 20 years ago didn't do this one. Instead, it was Sam Witwer. Do you know who Sam Witwer is?
No, the name is familiar.
So Sam Witwer, if I showed you his face, which I won't right now because it'll take too long to look up, Sam Witwer, you would recognize his face as Starkiller from The Force Unleashed. But Sam Witwer also voices Darth Maul in the Clone Wars and in Rebels. So Sam Witwer came and did Maul work for this film. Wow. And it makes me think that we're probably going to get more Maul.
Which is exciting.
Which is amazing, yeah.
Because he's a fun Sith Lord.
He really is.
He's fun. I also love his lightsaber.
Yeah, so it's actually like a recycled Inquisitor lightsaber, I believe, of an Inquisitor that he murdered.
Sick.
And constructed this rinky-dink lightsaber. Noe, did you think it was out of place that Maul just decided to ignite his lightsaber for no reason on that hologram?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a reason why they did that.
Really?
They reshot that scene. Originally, it was just Maul sitting there talking. but they reshot it so that it was abundantly clear to the audience of, oh look, double-bladed lightsaber, horn guy. This is 100% Darth Maul.
Huh.
Yeah, so it was really weird that he's just like, Kira, we're gonna be working together now. They're like, why'd you even turn it on? That was pointless. It's like, oh, that's Darth Maul. Perfect.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it could have been done a little more tastefully, of like slams the lightsaber down and just turns it off instead of like holding it up, because I think that was kind of dumb. But that makes a lot of sense of like trying to confirm that this is Darth Maul.
And I also would have understood it really well if they had done some of that out of sequence, and they would have had Kira leave on the big raft first, and then see Maul in person, and then Maul then ignites the lightsaber and threatens her with it.
Oh,
that would have worked.
That would have been
but
awesome.
Just because, how threatened would you feel as a person, Noe, if you were talking to someone on FaceTime, and then they were just like, oh look, here's my gun, and I'm going to show it to you, so you're scared. And you're like, dude, you're not even near me. I'm not afraid of you. And you're
not at all.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was a little weird.
See her threatened. That would have been a wonderful choice there.
So
made so much more sense too.
So let's have a final verdict on Solo.
This is my final verdict. Star Wars nerds, suck it up. It was a great movie. It was so fun. And sure, it's not what everybody wanted it to be, but that's good.
It's exactly what I wanted it to be.
Yeah. Well, you're not everybody. So
you're right. So
I'm so content with this movie, more so than content. I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, and again, I mentioned it when I was talking about Star Wars haters in episode 1. If I could talk to Lucasfilm, if I could talk to Kathleen Kennedy, I would say, you keep making the movies that you're making, because you're making quality content. And if the fan base doesn't want to accept it, the important thing to remember is that Star Wars, at the end of the day, is still a franchise for kids.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars is a ploy to sell toys. Still,
always has been.
It'll always
always
be
will
that.
Be.
And it's like George Lucas has said it itself tons of times, and they're like, "Well, we don't think it's complex enough. We don't think it's adult enough." He's like, "Dude, it's free." No, well, I made Star Wars for kids. Did you like my George Lucas impression?
That was horrible.
I made Star Wars
Cease
for kids.
and desist.
You see, that's why I started putting the stormtroopers in different armor. And now we're making Hannigan Solo. Okay. So my final verdict of Solo, A Star Wars Story. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was passable, and I enjoyed it.
B-, at least.
Solid B-. Yeah.
At least. Nothing less. Most people it's tanking right now.
Box office is tanking.
Box office, it's tanking.
Critically, it's doing okay.
Yeah.
It's fresh at a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes,
and
that's
good.
Not bad. Yeah.
I'm content there. It is definitely way better than the Avatar live action.
No, that's not hard to be better than.
Oh yeah, no, but that is my absolute bottom of the list, and if it's better than that, and I have a little bit of fun, then you win.
Well, I've told you about my rule, right? Mm-hmm. My rule with movies.
If you have fun.
If I'm entertained, then it gets a pass in my book.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really often that a movie just doesn't entertain me. I would say my one example of having sat down and watched a movie that didn't entertain me at all. That Shyamalan Last Airbender. And also, in the same realm, Avatar from 2009. I sat down and that didn't entertain me at all. And so I get it. It's so good. And yeah, visually it's cool. It's starting to look dated now.
Everything that I loved about that movie had to do with the creatures that were there. Had nothing to do with the acting or anything else, but everything to do with the world.
Well, I was actually going to say everything that's good about that movie. Yeah.
And I was like, floating. Oh my god, those dragons are... Oh my god, did you see that panther thing? And everything was about the creatures. Absolutely nothing had to do with the movie. So I had fun just because of the animal nerd and the DM nerd that I am. So I was like, I'm putting those into my D&D world. And I did, and I love them.
No, I want to let you know I didn't plan on bringing up Avatar 2009, but it's actually going to work really well as a transition into what I want to talk about next.
Oh.
So Disney is a huge company.
Yes, it is.
But they do not own Avatar.
No, they do not.
Do you know who does own Avatar?
No, I do not.
20th Century Fox.
Okay.
But do you know who 20th Century Fox is in talks with?
Disney.
In a buyout? Disney. Also, the reason it really transitions well is that Disney World has Avatar Land.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Disneyland has Disney World in Orlando has whatever that place is called, Pandora. Or
Pandora.
Whatever. Yeah. And
Pandora
so
listens.
there was tons of talk that if this Disney Fox merger goes through, Bugs Life Land at Disneyland California will be demolished in place for an Avatar Land, which would be kind of cool. Admittedly, I don't like the movie, but it is.
Yeah,
I do have to admit it's a gorgeous movie.
Yes, it is.
It's actually, especially
for its time.
Mm-hmm, it's the same sentence that I use when I talk about Batman vs Superman. I go, I don't like it, but it is pretty. So the Disney Fox merger, this could be big news for Disney. It would allow them to, it would allow Lucasfilm to finally own all of the original trilogy again. Ugh. Because Fox, part of that agreement when Disney bought Lucasfilm was 20th Century Fox owns A New Hope forever. Yeah. So you can't really buy a real original trilogy box set. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's a lie. Yes, you can. But they own the rights. They have to work with Fox. Fox gets the profits on anything A New Hope related. So if Disney buys Fox, Disney owns A New Hope again. Disney owns A New Hope.
Which is what we're hoping
for. Oh, you know what? I want to go back to Solo. Because I mentioned this to you. But there was a part where...
we never told our people that this is the non-spoilers part.
Oh. Well, they made it back at some point. It was when we started talking about this. It's right here. We just reached it, Noe.
Okay, yeah.
So welcome back, non-spoiler people.
We're talking about Disney and the Fox merger.
We are talking about Disney and Fox merger.
Yes.
Han Solo dies in Force Awakens.
Nerds, he got wrecked.
All right. So with the Disney Fox merger, dude, I'm gonna have to scrub through the footage now and put my own time card. There's not gonna be a spot where I just say, "Here's the time card." Oh, I just made more work for myself, Noe.
It's at about.
I'm glad.
It's at about 41 minutes.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught it now, though. So thank you.
It is at about 41 minutes, give or take, somewhere around there.
All right.
Got you.
So Disney Fox merger. If Disney buys Fox, we get all of Star Wars back together.
Yes.
And we have the potential for the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in the MCU. Which would be great. It would be fun. It would be interesting how they would do it because you would have to have younger X-Men and younger Fantastic Four to be integrating into an already 10-year-long established universe.
Also, most of our Fantastic Four, garbage most of the time. Mm-hmm. All of our things that we've seen are garbage. I would like to see Disney get their hands on that because I really enjoy the Fantastic Four.
No, they're great characters.
Speaking-wise, their powers are fun.
And they just got reintroduced in the comics. The comics were canceled for years because they weren't selling. Yeah. And just now, Marvel relaunched the Fantastic Four, and it makes me think that they're one step closer to that buyout. Comcast also made a bid on Fox, but I don't think they'll be able to outbid Disney if they really want it.
Disney runs this world.
The cool thing is that Comcast has their own production studios, right? Mm-hmm. If they were to buy out Fox and say, all right, Fox Studios doesn't exist anymore, they're going to just be integrated into what we have going on. Yeah. Then automatically, X-Men, Fox Marvel rights would revert immediately back to Marvel Studios, Disney.
Sick.
Yeah, just because that's the way those purchases work. Mm-hmm. It's like if your studios dissolve, the rights go back to us immediately. Mm-hmm.
Which is cool.
So I hope Sony gets dissolved. So you have the potential to have an even bigger MCU. You have the potential to own and now fully market all of Star Wars that you own it. And just tons of cool things would come with buying Fox. One example, it's actually a really ironic example. There's an episode of The Simpsons. Do you watch The Simpsons?
I don't.
There's an episode of The Simpsons
too much for me.
Where Bart comes out wearing what looks like Mickey Mouse ears and says, "Look, I'm the head of an evil corporation." And if Disney buys Fox, they would officially own that joke.
That's funny.
So
that's good. I like that a lot.
Something else that Disney's been working on is their own streaming service, separate from Netflix. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, Disney doesn't need any more money.
You're right.
First off. But so a lot of us have been raised on Disney movies. Mm-hmm. Disney is like they are the movie industry that dominates the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And them having their own streaming service, I mean, that puts a lot of our favorite things together forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I mean, what else are they gonna put on there?
Yeah, I mean, it would be Disney movies,
Shows,
Pixar movies,
shows owned by Disney,
Star Wars, Marvel,
and having all of those things together, it's a 1-2 punch to raise kids.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong at all.
Because think about it. You know, we could, like, everybody watches the princesses when they're young. Everyone watches Aladdin when they're young. Everyone watches all of these, like, movies when they're young. My sister's favorite movie since she's 9 years old, and her favorite thing in the world has been Tangled for years. Disney knows what they're doing when it comes to kids things. And they have these special places in our heart. So I wouldn't mind shelling out a couple of dollars for having all of these movies that I love and go back to watch on my DVR all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone on my DVR and I've just watched, because I have it recorded, The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that, like, they really would be pushing for it because everything Disney would get pulled from Netflix. Mm-hmm. And from Hulu. I don't know if there is any Disney on Hulu.
Not much. Not that I think of.
But I think it would be a successful business endeavor.
Absolutely. Because
people like us would say, well, hey, why not? It's all of Disney. Mm-hmm. I think it would be worth it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because, I mean, I just graduated. You're still in college. There's nothing more college than just Disney nights.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a real thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I do that every so often. I'll just watch through Disney movies. You know, it's a good idea. Am I, like, super happy that it's happening? No, because it's another thing I have to pay for.
Right.
But it's another thing that I will pay for. You know?
So, Noe, back to Fox merger. You got the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
And you've got Scott Marsden that plays Cyclops in the original X-Men movies. I think those first three. He plays Scott Summers, Cyclops. James Marsden has just been in talks to be in another movie. And he's going to be the star. Here's one of those things that I didn't tell you about. He's going to be the star in 2019's Sonic the Hedgehog. That was exactly the reaction I wanted. So
that's wrong.
Apparently, Sega greenlit a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh man, you know what, guys? Let me just. That means at some point we'll be transitioning to video game news. But if Sega has just signed and greenlit a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie, they're going down the toilet real soon.
They've officially sold their souls.
Yeah, they're gone. Sega is gonna die. We're gonna miss them. They're gonna be relics of the past. But rip Sega, probably 2019. So, anyways, Sonic the Hedgehog the movie. Yeah, tell me about it.
So no, there's no details about it. All that we know is that it's due in November 2019.
That's horrible.
And it's going to be a mix of live action and CGI. So think, the other movie that James Marsden was in, Hop, from a few years ago, that Easter movie.
Nope.
Or
over my head.
The Peter Rabbit movie just came out this year, where that was combined CG and live action.
We'll be seeing. I think that's Christopher Robin as well, right? This new Disney movie
Christopher Robin
is a mix.
Is combined live action CG,
which we'll be getting on the streaming service.
Sega decided to jump in on that, and this is the first time that 27-year-old Sonic the Hedgehog is showing up on the big screen, and probably the last time.
Yeah. Probably, maybe the last time he'll show up on any screen. Let's be honest here.
So let's talk about the director.
Okay.
And his name's Jeff Fowler.
Okay.
No, are you a fan of Gilmore Girls?
Oh, okay. Guys.
Oh wait, are you? I was expecting a really heavy no on that.
No, I actually am a really big fan of Gilmore Girls. I know it's really sad, but holy crap, dude, Rory. Blesses my soul.
So Jeff Fowler played Bob in Gilmore Girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you know, he's also worked on such he's got this amazing track record of just wonderful feats of filmmaking, and he's been doing it he directed a short film. And that's it. It's animated. It's called Go for Broke.
Cool.
Noe, can we decide to give this movie a collective thumbs down?
Absolutely. But this is what I'm going to say. Challenge to everyone that's listening, and to you, Greg. Watch it to see how long you can.
Oh, no. You know, I've never been the person to walk out of a movie theater, but if a movie's that bad, I probably would.
Okay, so I have a feeling that this is going to be the same kind of disaster that Avatar: The Last Airbender was.
You know what? I'm expecting it to be just as much of a disaster as Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
Yeah.
The game.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be just as much of a disaster as all of the newer Sonics. Any new Sonic the Hedgehog coming from, like, if it's past GameCube, it's probably garbage.
There was Sonic on GameCube?
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
Okay, so...
Was it 2D?
It was not 2D. It was a 3D Sonic the Hedgehog game. And it's one of the only ones that... Two Sonic the Hedgehog games on GameCube. Sonic Adventure DX, I believe is what it's called, and then Sonic Adventure Battle 2. And the reason Sonic Adventure Battle 2 was great was not because of the story, but was solely because of the idea that you could play as all these characters and you could raise those cute little clay dumpling things that we know and all Sonic fans know as Chow.
Chow.
They're like little tiny clay. Think of like a drop. That's what the shape of their head is, and like little tiny angel bodies with little fat feet,
like the
cute
little,
things.
like the little alien in Chicken Little.
Okay, let me tell you, it's cute. Okay,
It's cute.
And the reason that game was a success
Was because of them.
only because of them.
All
and
right.
the reason Sonic games have ever been successes once they left from the 2D platform was because they started bringing in Chow. And Chow, they have like a ridiculous genetic system where you like breed them and like try to get certain traits out of them to make them cooler looking. It's wild.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Imagine going up to your local movie theater and you see on the marquee Sonic the Hedgehog and the Mystery of the Chow.
Nope.
Coming soon.
False. Cease and desist. Immediately kill yourself.
Oh, no. All right, Noe. Before we get into video game news, because I know we're going to be talking about E3.
We are talking about E3.
You've got all the tea on that.
Oh, I do.
I want to talk to you about a comic book for a moment.
Oh, cool.
And this was the what's the phrase you use when it's second to last? There's a really fancy phrase for it. You know what I'm talking about?
Pre-last?
No. Anyways, there's a really fun word.
Almost finish?
Oh, penultimate.
Penultimate.
You know how I remembered it? It's in the freaking article.
Ah.
I didn't look at the article before I opened my mouth. So Dan Slott is kind of an awful person. He kind of tore apart Spider-Man lore in the last 10 years. But he's also been working on the same book for 10 years. Amazing Spider-Man. He's been doing it for 10 years, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I gained respect for him based on his penultimate issue, Amazing Spider-Man number 800.
Wow.
It's one of the longest running comic series. I think it's only beat by Action Comics, which just hit 1,000.
Oh, wow.
So Amazing Spider-Man number 800 did something really cool. So Dan Slott revived Norman Osborn.
Oh, okay.
And it's Spider-Man versus the Green Goblin, who is truly his arch nemesis, way more than... What in the world? Way more than any sort of Venom could be. Venom is a cool foil to Spider-Man, but it's not an arch nemesis in the way the Green Goblin is. So Dan Slott brings back the Green Goblin, and Spider-Man has to team up with tons of a supporting cast. He has to team up with Miles Morales. He has to team up with a Spider Slayer robot.
Wow.
He has to team up with Dr. Octopus.
What?
And while Dan Slott's final issue is June this month with Amazing Spider-Man number 801, one of the coolest moments that I've ever seen in a Spider-Man book happened here. So, Norman Osborn almost kills Mary Jane, but she was protected by Spider-Man and Venom. Rip Gwen, by the way. Green Goblin killed Gwen.
Rippy.
And Venom was actually called into the fight by J. Jonah Jameson, which also really cool. J. Jonah Jameson helping Spider-Man is not something you see often. So Spider-Man is fighting the Red Goblin, who is a combination of Carnage and Norman Osborn, which is terrifying.
That's wild.
And so Spider-Man knows he cannot defeat both of those villains combined. He can barely defeat one of them by himself. So Eddie Brock says, all right, we need to go all out then if you're going to win. And he gives him the symbiote back. And we get this amazing symbiote design in the book. Oh my
god.
Yeah. So Black Suit Spider-Man comes back in the penultimate issue. And it's really cool.
That's awesome.
That doesn't end up being what the final solution is to defeating the Red Goblin. But just a really cool comic book moment.
Sick.
I also want to talk to you about some television stuff. I've explained to you my gripes with The Walking Dead.
Absolutely.
But I think The Walking Dead is about to take a turn for the better.
I hear Rick is not doing it anymore, right?
Not only Rick, but Maggie.
Really?
So Lauren Cohen and Andrew Lincoln will both be leaving, I believe it's 9 episodes in to this season that starts in October.
Wow.
That's a big move. It's looking like the showrunner will be shifting their focus to Norman Reedus's Daryl Dixon. And making him the main character, which is great because ever since the show introduced Dwight, who Daryl was based on, ever since the show introduced Dwight, Daryl's has kind of been a waste of space on the show. He's done a few things, but he didn't do much in terms of the war with Negan. And so it looks like Daryl will become... Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. I just read something else in the beginning of this article. It says Paul Rudd also might be joining the live-action Sonic movie.
Why would you read this to me?
I'm sorry. So, Daryl will be the focus on The Walking Dead from now on. Paul Rudd, what are you doing?
Oh my god.
Stick to being tiny.
God.
Hollywood's falling apart, man. Andrew
dude.
Lincoln's leaving his show.
He's tired.
He is tired. He's been doing it for 8 years now.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It's a really long time to do anything.
You know? He probably wants to do some other things, you know?
I hope he will.
Me too.
Because he's a really good actor.
Oh, yeah.
But people can't take him seriously right now because when they see Andrew Lincoln's freaking face, all they hear is, Coral! Coral! Gotta stay in the house, Coral! So I hope that Andrew Lincoln starts pursuing some serious acting in Hollywood. He's got a silky British voice when he's not being a Atlanta sheriff. So a new focus for the show, a new shift, because obviously Rick and Maggie are two of your main characters in the book, and already you're having to shift from what the comics have been doing. When you killed Carl, spoiler alerts on that. I should have said spoiler alerts before. Oh well, the spoiler section ended at 41 minutes.
At this point, we're just being nerds.
Yeah.
And jerks.
So, when you...
I just want to stop you real quick. I just want to say, I really had to restrain myself from just spoiling Solo. I had to stop myself. We're just being jerks now. And I had to physically, clench my jaw to not say anything.
Emilia Clarke's character dies in Infinity War. Rip Kira.
Yeah, Rip Kira.
Okay, so when you have to depart from your source material in such a drastic way, you begin having to focus on the quality of what you're writing because you don't have a crutch anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Which, to a certain point, you might start having Daryl do some of the things that Rick did in the comics after the war with Negan, but it's not going to be the same because it's not Rick. You know. So my predictions for what's going to happen is, here's big spoiler alerts if you're not completely caught up on The Walking Dead. Again, I'll leave another time card.
I know I'm not.
So sorry.
I'm never gonna watch
it, right?
No.
So, Rick does not kill Negan, which is a huge moment from the comics. He incapacitates him. He slits his throat. But fun fact, Noe, I don't know if you knew this, but you have to cut extremely deep to kill someone by slitting their throat.
I do know that, actually. Don't ask me why.
Because of what's this guy called here? The larynx or the pharynx?
Yes.
Okay, one of the two.
The Adam's apple.
The Adam's apple. You have to slice through that.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the larynx.
Okay, so you have to slice through that.
Mm-hmm.
So Rick cuts Negan's neck open to the point where he's bleeding out and he passes out, and then he tells the doctor guy Sadiq, he says, save him, and they keep him alive. And Rick and Michonne tell Negan once he becomes conscious again, hey, we're keeping you alive to teach the world a lesson that we're better than you and that what you did was awful. And it's a really cool moment from the comics because it's Rick becoming human again after saying for 2 whole seasons long, I'm gonna kill you, which gets boring real fast when you drag out a story. And at the very end, Maggie and Jesus are hanging out together, and they say, hey, we're gonna override Rick's authority, we're gonna go and kill Negan. So I think what's going to happen is there's going to be an attempted mutiny of Maggie trying to kill Negan, and it'll result in a double death of both of them dying.
Wow, that'd be cool.
But it's going to be after Maggie's baby is born, because I don't think The Walking Dead would kill a pregnant woman, because they don't even do anything, Noe. Because they skirted the line with Lori. She gave birth to the baby and then she died immediately, like Carl Schotter did. What? No, I'm curious now.
They wouldn't kill a pregnant woman. I know I would.
That's so bad.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't kill a pregnant woman. Pregnant people are wonderful.
So I'm excited for The Walking Dead to take a turn for the better.
That'll be cool.
And I hope it will.
Me too. I like seeing things succeed. But moving on to my favorite part of
your favorite part
show,
of the podcast,
video games. So today we're talking about E3, and I know a lot of our friends know that there's been a lot of video game news recently. Lots of it's about that time where people are releasing and leaking and teasing and stuff, and so E3 is the point that we all wait for to get our roadmap for what to purchase and what to do with our video game lives and how to waste it properly. So I have a couple of things for you, Greg, that we can talk about. We can talk about our 3 big franchises. We can talk about Microsoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo. And we can talk about some of our other companies that regularly produce games regardless of their system. So like Bethesda, EA, I know that one's going to be fun, Ubisoft, and I think Square Enix and Activision are our choices. So I'll let you choose wherever you want to go.
I was actually going to say, can we start with EA so we get the gross part out of the way?
Oh yes, absolutely. All right, so we all know everything that they did with Battlefront and ruining this game that we adore for so long. So E3's coming up. What are we going to expect from them? Hopefully they apologize.
Yeah, well, and I think that it's not even so much that people would be entitled to an apology, but EA kind of like, and this is going to be probably the worst thing that I've ever said in terms of recording myself saying something.
Okay, glad you put that part in there because I've heard you say some horrible things.
But EA kind of raped an entire franchise.
Yes, they did.
And it was not okay.
No, it wasn't.
And the mere fact that I either had to sit down and play Battlefront for 40 hours or spend $10 to play as Luke Skywalker. It's ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
It's not fair. It's not right.
No, it is
not. And I probably sound like I'm whining. But truly, legitimately, if I paid for the collector's edition. I paid almost $80 for Battlefront 2.
Yep.
And the fact that I got it and it didn't feel like a complete game, ridiculous.
Yep.
I paid for the special edition of Battlefront 2015. I paid a lot of money for it, and the fact that it wasn't a complete game. was ridiculous.
Yep.
I felt like I was cheated out of at least 40 of the $60 I was paying for a game. You know?
So EA, most likely they're going to be making a case for forgiveness. We know that Battlefield is a popular franchise. Hopefully Battlefield 5 is something that I think we could be looking forward to. Of course, Madden, they pump those things out like, you know, post World War II people push out babies.
Gosh. Well, I was actually going to say they
Anthem.
pump them out like Activision pumps out Call of Duty.
Yeah.
We're talking about that later too, right?
Yeah, we can move right on there.
Wait, no, I want to say one more thing about
We'll go
EA.
there next to Activision.
I want to say one more thing about EA. You know what would redeem EA for me? An actual complete game of anything.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
But if that actual complete game was Battlefield Bad Company 3.
Ooh.
I would... Or even if they just wanted to remaster the first two and release that, I would buy that so fast.
Yeah.
What a fun series.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's talk about Activision.
Okay, Activision, I don't think we're going to be getting anything new from them. They never do anything like groundbreaking or world-shaking. So
no, they're just going to be...
Call of Duty?
Yep.
Destiny. Most likely we'll get... I think
Destiny's
we might get...
Activision?
Destiny is Activision.
Bungie works with Activision now?
Nani? But, I mean, nothing new from Activision.
No.
We'll be getting
Standard.
those two. We'll probably get an update on Spyro. But outside of that, not much to hope for them unless you're like a die-hard fan of the Call of Duty
dude,
series.
I want to let you know that I'm looking at the Destiny box right here, right in front of us, and there is an Activision logo down there. I didn't believe you until I saw it just now.
Wah, 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 wah. I don't know why I did that, and I love it.
So Activision is pretty much just going to be shelling out the details of Black Ops 4.
Business is normal for Activision.
Except for not business as normal, because no one's going to buy your game.
You're not wrong.
Actually, I am wrong. All of the teenagers are going to have their parents buy it for them.
Yeah.
Because it's Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm.
It's Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG, too.
This is wild. All right. Let's move on to, how about Square Enix?
Talk to me about Square Enix.
I think a lot
what
of
is
the
Square
time-
Enix's big game?
I think a lot of the time people forget that Square Enix is a thing.
Right.
You know? And they actually have some really good things coming out.
Yeah, what is like
all right.
Square Enix's definitive title?
I know that Square Enix, we all love Kingdom Hearts.
There
That's
it is.
Square Enix right there. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I think we'll get some stuff for that. We had Final Fantasy comes from Square Enix, I believe, and that's wonderful, wonderful franchise, super fun. Japanese games are super weird and
Can we
fun.
talk about Kingdom Hearts for a minute?
Absolutely.
Noe, I have been saying for years, since literally, what was it 2013 that the Lucasfilm buyout happened?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I've been saying for years, can we please have a lightsaber Keyblade?
Oh, and I think it's possible.
I think we're going to get one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wolverine Claw's Keyblade when the Fox merger No, okay. So actually, that's exactly what I want to talk about. What kind of Keyblades do we want to see from different franchises in this game?
That'd be wild.
So
Okay,
lightsaber Keyblade is high up on my list.
Obviously, that's going to be awesome.
Keyblade made out of Eeyore's tail.
Oh, man. Woo!
Honestly, I feel like Square Enix could sell that. I feel like they could make that work.
Oh, yeah. You hit someone like with the Keyblade and immediately they're hit with like ridiculous depression.
Oh no!
It's the most millennial thing they'll
So it would be you.
Anyways,
Actually, no. I wanna finish this. Everyone that's watching this, you can see our graphic, whether it's Podbean or YouTube. I want you to look really closely at the burger because you'll see a discoloration in the mouth because I couldn't color match to save my life. Because I originally drew the burger as sad and Noe made me change it to happy. So you can see where the mouth was changed.
Because I'm not a sad person. I'm actually a very happy person.
Debatable.
Hey, you know this.
It's debatable.
I will fight you right now. Square up. I'm a
how
very
weird.
violent person, but I'm not a very sad person.
That's true.
But anyways, Square Enix will get, most likely, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Kingdom Hearts 3, Just Cause 4, or Just Cause, I don't necessarily
I think
know
it's
how to
Just
pronounce
Cause.
it. Just Cause, I'm pretty sure. I never played the third one.
I never played the first one.
I didn't play any of them either. Also,
you did sit there with me while I was playing too.
I did.
Right?
It was hilarious.
Oh, dude, we should play that next time we record at my house.
I'm down.
I'd be cool with that.
But another thing that I think you'll be excited for, Avengers.
There's gonna be an Avengers game.
Square Enix is in talks right now, and there's a huge collaboration with Marvel, and it's unannounced. But I mean, we have some sources that are suggesting these kinds of things. So we might be seeing an Avengers game, or a Guardians of the Galaxy game.
A part of me really thinks that wouldn't truly be announced until next year. Would you like to know why?
Why?
Because Marvel's not going to want to take the full jump into the video game franchises until they see that Spider-Man PS4 is successful.
That's true. I can see that.
But maybe they're going to take that dive now. Maybe they've seen what Insomniac's been doing. Because apparently a lot of love's been going into that game. But we're going to get there in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I think an Avengers game could work. But I also think it could crash and burn.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I do think that there's a momentum coming for the Marvel Universe, and I think that making that switch to video games starts to cater to a whole new type of audience of people that really enjoy the series, because most comic nerds are video game nerds as well, and that's of course a generalization. But I mean, I think it could be really cool to be playing as Thor, or as Hulk, maybe as Rocket Raccoon. I think that'd be really fun. So we'll see how that turns out. Our last publisher, we have Ubisoft.
Assassin's Creed.
Yes. Oh, Ubisoft and Bethesda. But Ubisoft has always been a company that isn't with the flow of the rest of the game world, is like releasing games and then not releasing games and then releasing games. They've always been people that are like releasing and remastering at the same time.
Right.
So we're probably going to see a lot of the same things. I don't want to get too much into that. The Division 2, most likely. Assassin's Creed, we'll probably see something in those franchises. Maybe some DLCs for the new Assassin's Creed Origins, which is great, by the way, still playing it.
Oh yeah, are you enjoying that?
I am really enjoying it. It's super fun. But now the kicker for our game companies and not our game moguls, everybody knows that Bethesda's up to something.
Fallout 76?
Fallout 76.
Overwatch tie-in?
Okay. Let's not get too hopeful.
I mean, you don't just put a number like 76 into a video game and have people not assume that it's Overwatch.
I mean, at this point, I can't argue with you. But at the same time,
it's not going to happen. But
I'm going to completely argue with you. But we do know that Fallout is coming out. We've gotten some teasers from that. There are some rumors going around that this next Fallout is going to be multiplayer based.
Fallout Battle Royale.
Maybe. I would hate that.
Yeah, so
but,
would I.
I mean, I think that Bethesda has some potential with doing that. And if they do that, Fallout multiplayer, they're unlocking something that Bethesda fans have been waiting for a long time. Everyone knows that it is a dream to play Skyrim The Elder Scrolls with other people. Mm-hmm. There's a thing out on the internet where people were trying to do that for a while. I don't know how it went. But to have something like that, it either turns into The Elder Scrolls Online, which is garbage. I think it's utter garbage. I played a lot of it. It's fun, but it's not.
It's not Skyrim.
It's not Elder Scrolls. It's not Oblivion. Mm-hmm. It's not Skyrim. It's not the standalone parts of the franchise.
So Noe, do you think that Bethesda will be announcing an episodic Elder Scrolls release?
Okay, well, this is what I do expect from Bethesda. I do expect things from Fallout. And I definitely expect a DLC or an expansion with Elder Scrolls Online. And I'm hoping that this year at E3, we will get the official tease or the official leak, if you will, of the Elder Scrolls 6 Valenwood. For my Skyrim people, Valenwood we all know is the home of the Wood Elves. And it's apparently a very beautiful forested nation. Think the Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful rainforest. And seeing a character play through that kind of world, I think would be wonderful. Even though the country, Valenwood, or the area is very small according to lore compared to some of the other places. But I do hope that we'll get an episodic addition to the Elder Scrolls franchise. I think that would be fun.
I dig it.
Now on to our big people. We have Sony. We have Microsoft. And we have Nintendo. Pick your poison.
All right, well, let's talk Nintendo last, because that's the one that we have a lot of speculation for.
Oh, yeah.
And let's start with Sony, because I'm almost positive that all of their E3 panel is going to be 100% focused on Spider-Man.
Okay, so I'm not expecting a lot of big reveals from Sony. I don't think they're going to be doing anything ground-shaking, because they've already been pushing out a lot of things. I think they're going to be focusing on Spider-Man, Death Stranding, and Days Gone, things like that, because they don't really have any reason to like show their hand. Mm-hmm. You know, they've been doing pretty well. You know, their sales for their consoles have been way above Microsoft.
That's what happens when you make a better console.
That's what happens, and that's what happens when you have your own series. The series there for Sony, they're good. You know, they're good quality series, and you can follow those franchises and you can love those franchises. And Sony does a great job at keeping up their repertoire of console-specific games.
Yeah, Sony's numbers would be even higher than Microsoft's if they would have fought with Square Enix to keep Kingdom Hearts 3 console exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know. So
nothing too big for there. I'm not expecting anything crazy. Lots of Spider-Man, though. Yeah. I am expecting that.
I'm going to buy a PS4 for this game, because I can tell just by seeing the promotional material and seeing the interviews with the developers that there's just a lot of love going into Spider-Man for this game.
Which is
so necessary.
I'm excited for
it. It really is.
Long due.
Definitely. When was the last good Spider-Man game?
Been a while.
2011, Edge of Time. So I'm gonna put my mark.
So be it. I will follow you to the death. I've never played too much of the PS2, PS3, PS4, but I do know the games, and that one was more enjoyable for me to watch.
This is the first time Spider-Man's been console exclusive. Mm-hmm. Since like 2000, when
that's true.
When the original Spider-Man was just on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But the last good Spider-Man game was 2011. Yeah. And even though that's debatable, not a lot of people liked that one. You could go even farther back to 2008, Web of Shadows. Mm-hmm. So it's been 10 years since a great Spider-Man game.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Microsoft?
All right, Microsoft. Okay, so we know that...
Halo?
Our Xbox head, Phil Spencer, he was promoted to Executive Vice President of Gaming for Microsoft, which is a big deal. And that's one of the reasons why in the past year or so we've been seeing, like, if you buy something on PC, you can also play it on Xbox, and things like that, you know. So, what can we expect from games for them? I mean, we know that they're going to be pushing to bridge the divide between Windows and Xbox. They've already been doing that. We've seen Cortana. We've seen all these things come out with the system itself. But I think game-wise, we're not going to see lots of new
Can I make
games.
A statement about Microsoft?
Please do.
Specifically Cortana?
Please.
Cortana is the only good thing to have come out of the Halo franchise right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I think Microsoft knows that.
We said it last week. Bungie, come back.
Microsoft knows that. And I think for E3, their only other competitor in the market is Sony, because Nintendo exists on their own. And we all know this.
Nintendo's on another plane of existence, man.
Oh, yeah. But,
bless you.
Thank you. Microsoft, they're going to be... I'm 100% convinced that they're not going to be going with, like, creating new series, but they're going to be doubling or tripling down with some of their older franchises, their exclusives. We're going to see something in Halo, even though it's been, you know. I'm hoping they're going to put some love into Halo. I'm pretty sure we're going to get something for Gears of War. I mean, that's speculation.
Who's working on Gears of War now? Because it's not Epic Games anymore.
It was
that company. Oh, you know what? It's called it's like called the COG or something like that. That it's an actual separate development team that left Epic Games and they're doing it on their own or something. I would be excited for another Gears of War game. I have to say I wasn't super impressed by 4. But I'll take a Gears of War game.
Yeah, I also think Forza, we can be expecting something from that.
Oh, dude, I love Forza.
I think Microsoft has a lot of work to do to compete with Sony right now.
Definitely. They need to come up with... They need to have more quality console exclusive releases.
Yes, they do.
So Bungie, come back.
So here's what I think. I think they're going to be working with their older franchises, the things that have been their staple for a while.
They're going to take their veterans.
They're going to take their veterans and try to promote that a little bit. But I'm hoping that they kind of surprise us with something. You know, because they need it right now. Microsoft needs it. I've been needing a good Xbox game.
We need something original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see the makings of a new franchise.
It just contradicts everything that the video game business is doing right now. Where everything in video games is an existing franchise being revamped or reimagined or sequelized. And I think that's where Microsoft could really break the mold.
Oh, yeah.
Is if you see Sony is focusing on making Spider-Man and making sequels... Nintendo is revamping all of their franchises for the Switch.
And, I mean, Nintendo, they don't exist in this plane.
That's true.
You know,
but
they're different.
You see,
they do whatever the heck they want to.
You see, when's the last time Ubisoft did something original that wasn't a sequel? Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
Original Watch Dogs? And everything is sequels and remasters and reimaginings right now. That if Microsoft came out and said, "Hey, look at this! It's a brand new franchise. No one's ever seen anything like it before."
Oh yeah, no, it would break the video game world.
Or even if it was just a brand new adaptation of something that hasn't been committed to video games yet.
Yeah,
you know. I really want good Bond games to come back. On a side note, I'd love a good Bond game.
That's fun. That's fun. That's super fun. But I do think that I would love to see Microsoft surprise us and release. The first installment of a new franchise, because honestly I love the continuations of these stories that I've grown up with,
absolutely,
you know, but at the same time none of these things measure up to the way that Nintendo has done their things. You know, Nintendo has its own multiverse.
Let's talk about Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo.
So the Switch is here.
The Switch is here.
And now Nintendo's going to go crazy. They're going to release every single franchise that they've ever committed to games.
Maybe.
And bring it to the Switch.
So the thing about Nintendo, and a lot of us Nintendo fans know this, is Nintendo plays everything real close to the chest. They don't release a lot of things. They don't tease a lot of things. You don't get any like leaks or spoilers unless Nintendo specifically allows it.
Yeah, I was surprised to see the Smash teaser before E3.
And think about that. Nintendo knew exactly what it was doing.
Yeah. Because they knew everyone would pay attention to E3 if they released a Smash teaser right before it.
Oh, yeah. So we can definitely be expecting something with Smash. Also, what else did Nintendo release recently? Nintendo also...
Zelda, Mario.
Nintendo has also announced...
They've announced something I'm very excited for.
The next installment for the Pokemon series.
Let's go, Pikachu. Hurry up, Eevee. Get in the car or we'll leave you behind, Psyduck.
Oh, man. I'm excited. I have already pre-ordered this.
Oh, have you really?
I have.
No, well, is it going to be like, Hey You, Pikachu? Is that what it's going to be?
Okay, so the way that this is working, Nintendo apparently has been putting a lot of work into this, and the Pokemon Company's been doing a lot of work with this franchise. And the reason is because this is the first time we're getting a Pokemon game with this much power.
On a main console.
Power. It's a main console. And the Switch is something else. It's something out of this world. You know, I have one, and I love it. It has all of the power of a regular system.
But you can take it with you in your car.
But I can take it with me. And one of the things I was fascinated to see with the trailer for Pokemon was the idea that you can now link your Pokemon Go account. Meaning that...
What?
Yes.
That's cool.
You can link your Pokemon Go account, any first-gen Pokemon, you can immediately transfer into the game and have a chance of catching that Pokemon exactly as it is.
I love it.
So what does that mean for Niantic is my question.
Oh.
Isn't it fascinating that we're getting Pokemon on a main console that is now being linked to your portable phone?
No, that is really interesting, and I wonder if... I don't even know what to make of that.
Yeah.
I think that...
Here's
is
my...
Is Nintendo going to hold on tighter to what Niantic is doing? Are they not going to have as much freedom anymore?
I think so, but isn't that a great thing for Niantic?
But yeah, it probably is.
So here's my thing. Everyone knows the Pokemon Company does its own thing. It's part of Nintendo, yes, but it's also its own separate entity.
Well, it's its own monster.
Yeah. So you have a monster like that.
In the best way possible.
Oh yeah, you have a monster like that, and theoretically, now this is me forecasting into the future and dreaming.
2026.
2026. Niantic has been bought out by the Pokemon Company and by Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo, with all of their money, starts thinking about what it would look like to further augmented reality.
Oh.
Fast forward 10 years from that.
2036.
2036. People are running around.
Wait, I have to pause you for a second.
Yes.
I reminded myself of... Do you remember the episode of The Office, The Surplus?
Yeah.
Where Michael's like, explain it to me like I'm 5. And he's like, well, you only spend $9 to make your lemonade stand. And then next year, I'll be 6. So 2036.
2036. Maybe we start seeing implementation of augmented reality in the world that we know it. What does that mean?
Terrifying.
What does that mean?
Skynet.
What does that mean is maybe, and this is a dream, and this is also terrifying, but it's a dream. Maybe our kids will be Pokemon trainers.
Wild. That'd be a lot of fun.
Wouldn't it be fun? And then here are all of us gamers that have known this for a long time. We know the Pokemon franchise. We know Pokemon and weaknesses. We know all these things. And we become the Pokemon professors.
That's even wilder. Noe, how old are you going to be in 2036?
Dude, I don't even remember how old I'm going to be next year.
Dude, I don't even want to think about that.
I'll be in my 40s.
I ever told you about my crisis?
What is your crisis?
I can't see myself past like 30 years old. It's really weird.
That's fascinating.
I can't imagine myself being old.
I can't either. I don't think young people can. I can imagine myself as an old fogey. Like, I can imagine myself with, like, in a wheelchair.
Throwing chanclas.
Throwing chanclas and loving my grandchildren and stuff. And, you know, I can see that, but I can't see anywhere in between. So this is what I am hoping. And I know this is ridiculous, just as based off of the idea that Pokemon Go and Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee are connected now.
I know. I just realized right now how far-fetched what you're talking about
is.
Oh,
absolutely. It's absolutely far-fetched.
All it's going to be is that just Pokemon Go is going to be way more advanced, and it's going to connect really easily to your Switch.
Yeah.
To what are they going to call the next generation of the Switch 10 years from now?
I don't know.
It's going to be like... It's going to be the Nintendo swap.
Wrong.
Cease and desist.
Cease and desist. Please cease immediately. But I mean, yes, it's super far-fetched.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
Farfetch'd is a really cool Pokemon, by the way.
Yes, it is.
It's a cool 2 leak slaps a day. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Shady
I do.
Penguin.
But this is all I'm saying.
Shout out to all the penguins.
Those types of things, like that type of dream. Why is it gained momentum all of a sudden?
Because the technology permits it?
Because the technology now not permits it, but now at least allows you to think it does.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, because we have Niantic and they have this crazy GPS thing going on. I have Pokestops like a mile away from my house that I go to every day. Mm-hmm. You know, paired with Pokemon. Sick. Awesome. We love this. Pokemon Company is obviously in works with this. We've known this for a while. So when we look towards the future, is it plausible? No. But But is it possible?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Which is exciting.
Okay, Noe.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, I actually remembered something that I forgot to add to our movie news list.
Oh.
I want to talk to you a little about...
If you say Sonic again, I'm going to strangle you
No, I promise it's not going to be Sonic. I want to talk to you about the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel.
Oh.
Coming in 2019.
That's right.
2 months after Avengers 4. Here's the thing. Spoilers for Avengers Infinity War.
Yes.
Sorry.
But
you know everything at this point, right? So, Spider-Man Homecoming, this is on Reddit. So, apparently it comes from a reliable source, but I don't actually know what the source is.
I never trust Reddit.
I wouldn't trust Reddit either, but this sounds really cool. So, it says it's going to be set after Avengers 4. Peter will be revived, but he will be revived by the sacrifice of Tony Stark. So, this is saying that Peter's back, Tony dies.
About time.
And in the beginning of the movie, Peter will be mourning the death of his mentor. And the plot will revolve around groundbreaking Stark technology, and Spider-Man has to steal it back from it being stolen from him. Who knows what that's going to be? But, and this has been confirmed by the studio, this Spider-Man sequel is going to be set outside of New York for the most part. And so now this source, in air quotes, every time I say source, it says it's going to be set mostly in London. And that Peter and his friends are there for a Stark Industries convention. So the main character is obviously going to be Peter, MJ, who's Zendaya's character.
Wonderful.
Ned.
Yeah.
Liz is back, which is cool. Flash and Aunt May are all returning. And also all those other Midtown students. So we'll get like awkward Betty Brant. Who's hilarious. And Gwyneth Paltrow. Is supposed to appear as Pepper Potts, who is the president of Stark Industries at this point.
Yes.
Mysterio is going to be the main villain, played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Wonderful.
Confirmed now.
Wonderful.
And he's the one who's stolen Stark's creation. And apparently there are plans to include the fishbowl helmet, but he will not be wearing it throughout the movie. Another character who's going to be showing up is Jessica Drew. She's a character from the comics. She's an MI6 operative, and she's after Mysterio, and she's like... not happy about it, but she's got to team up with Peter Parker to bring down Mysterio. So it's like this actual official agent person having to team up with a high schooler in London.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Not just a high schooler in London, a Queens high schooler in London.
Oh, God.
So Peter is going to develop a rivalry with a new student, Alistair Smythe, who's also from the comics and also in the Andrew Garfield films. Alistair Smythe was played by Ryan the Temp.
Yeah.
And he's a technology prodigy. He's behind the Spider Slayer robots in the comics. And his father works for Stark. Vulture and Scorpion will both be showing up in minor roles. And Scorpion is apparently working for the same man who hired Mysterio to steal the creation. And they're gonna get Vulture they're gonna try and get Vulture to like reveal who Peter is, because they say they think he knows. If you remember that from the post-credit scene.
I do.
And he's like, well, if I knew who he was, he'd already be dead. So Mysterio's employer is apparently a major villain from the comics and will be prominent in the Spider-Man movies going forward. So it's not been revealed who he is, but I predict either you have Norman Osborn show up in the MCU, or, this is what I'm hoping for, you finally fully integrate the Netflix shows and you have Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. And you have Daredevil make a cameo.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, which has also been rumored that Charlie Cox is going to be part of this film as Daredevil.
Wow.
So, and yeah, they are going to be building up the Sinister Six, but they're not guaranteed for the third film in the franchise. And the title, of course, apparently from this source, the so-called title at this point is Spider-Man Field Trip.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So I hope this is real.
I do too.
But it's probably not.
Yeah. All I know
However, if they are setting a film outside of New York, they absolutely need to call it Spider-Man Field Trip.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I hope that Peter Parker comes back. I like our boy.
Yeah. Oh, he will.
I'm just, you know.
And actually, Dave Bautista is he plays Drax.
Yeah.
He's working on another movie right now, where he's like a hospital badass medical care worker. I'll have to show you the trailer after we're done recording.
Yeah.
But they were talking about it like, well, how do you feel about, you know, your about Infinity War? He's like, well, you know, we're all coming back in Avengers 4. he's like, you know, I'm in Avengers 4 and I'm in Guardians 3, so like it's fine. Well, that's everything we've got on the list.
Yeah, guys,
we made it through in an hour and a half.
Get your Pokeballs ready, guys.
Get your Pokeballs ready.
I if you don't have Pokemon Go, get it now and start preparing if you plan on getting Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. You're gonna need it.
Noe, which one of the two do you think you'll get?
I've already so here's my deal with that. I've already pre-ordered Let's Go Eevee because it's Eevee's turn.
Because Eevee's better.
Eevee's better. I'm tired of Pikachu. I know Pikachu's the mascot, but I'm tired of him. I want him to go to sleep and just stay in my PC box and not come out for a while, you know.
Have you ever Nuzlocked Pokemon Yellow?
No, but I can tell you that every time I've Nuzlocked and I've gotten a Pikachu, I've intentionally killed it.
Oh. Well, I was actually going to tell you that it's really depressing to be playing Pokemon Yellow and having Pikachu walking behind you, and then Pikachu dies and you have to box it, and then there's no Pikachu. Okay. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in for a third time.
Yeah, if you have,
thank you for tolerating us.
Wow, you're awesome.
I want to give a shout out to our 2 subscribers on Podbean.
Yeah, we have 2 now?
We have 2.
Wow.
And guess what? They're both named Josh.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
So our good friend Josh,
Ewert,
who went to school with us, very dear friend of ours. We love you, man. And
yes,
also my dear friend Josh from high school,
Sick.
He goes to UC Davis, and he's subscribed to the podcast. So shout out to those 2 guys.
Nice to have you along board, man. I hope you're ready for the disaster train.
And of course, we did shout out good old Basky earlier.
Basket bitchin'.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
So thanks so much for listening. Of course, follow us on Twitter. That's @HungryBrosPod. Subscribe to us on Podbean and YouTube. We post the audio every week on Tuesday. It goes up real early in the morning on Tuesday. Real early because I have to do it before I go to work.
Yep.
But it's there all day. It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's there if you miss a week. You can go ahead and catch up. It's only an hour and a half. This is a new record. We ran a little long. We're at an hour 37 right now.
I had a feeling we'd be long today.
Also, I keep forgetting to welcome back spoiler people.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're welcome, and goodbye.
Yeah.
So,
that's it.
Bye. Sorry.
Thanks so much. Make sure to keep up with us. Oh, it started again.